I'm ready.
Oh my gosh, we're live, Greg.
We're live.
We are
Is that
live.
what, is that what that clock means?
Yes. I know you've never done the live video with us, but
No, not with you.
we we're going to do a live video today because we get so many questions about HOA, CDD, taxes. How do all these things work here in Babcock Ranch? Do you know?
It's pretty complex. I mean, there's 23 neighborhoods, so it used to be fairly simple.
Yes, it used to be fairly simple. That is true. So we are going to also record this video. So anybody watching, this is going to be like the updated 2025 video that explains HOA, CDD, taxes. So I'm going to start out by saying, really, the first thing everybody all these buyers coming into Babcock that better want to understand this. The first thing they should understand is that when houses are sold in Babcock Ranch, they are sold by lot size, believe it or not. So it's very typical when you go into any of these new construction neighborhoods, they're going to have homes that fit 40-foot wide lots, 50-foot wide lots, and 60-foot wide lots. And then some neighborhoods even have 75-foot wide lots, which you're going to find mainly on the golf courses. Those are the estate homes, estate series homes. And then you've even got some neighborhoods, like my neighborhood, Lake Babcock Estate, has 80-foot wide homes. And I'm on an 80-footer. So
Those little details change your CDD fees based on the lot size.
Yes, I pay a very high CDD fee, higher than anybody else in Babcock Ranch. But I think to kick this off, though, to better understand HOAs, we got to bring everybody to the HOA website, right? So let me start sharing my screen here. All right. So the first website you want to familiarize yourself with if you're moving here is babcockranchliving.com. And this is the master HOA website. So this is going to really detail the master stuff, and the CDD information is also in here. And then all the stuff that's really just going around town. However, a big caveat here is that now in Babcock Ranch, we have a lot of sub neighborhoods. And this website, you're not going to get all the detail on those sub neighborhoods. That's an important distinction point here that we need you to understand. But the easiest place to go is when you come up here under resources. This is probably the best tab for anybody who's thinking about moving to Babcock, because you've got architectural review documents. This is like if you wanted to add a pool to your property down the road. How do you actually file to add a pool, or if you want to change your landscaping, or you want to extend a lanai. Really good rule of thumb. Anything on the outside of your home probably and should be permitted with the HOA. So it's called an architectural review document. And we have all these other.
When you have the sub, you have to get approval from both, and first through the sub as well.
And yes, yeah, there are also approvals through sub HOAs. So, but let's go right to HOA fees. This is what I wanted to show people. So under resources here, you come to assessment fees. And this is where you can find the most up-to-date options, or most up-to-date fees. So we've got your residential fees. So again, this is the master. Now, this is where it can get tricky too. There are certain areas and neighborhoods where the master covers the entire neighborhood. So neighborhoods like Parkside, Trails Edge, Lake Babcock, Lake Timber, and Edgewater. Yeah, those neighborhoods, the master covers the entire neighborhood. But the master does control every neighborhood, just to make it even more confusing for you.
Layers.
Yeah, so you can see here as we come down, you're going to see different fees. So you're probably wondering, like, in Lake Timber, or sorry, I wasn't meaning Lake Timber here, but Lake Babcock Estates, for example. You can see here that they're only showing you, like in my neighborhood, we only get the internet and the master fee. We're not getting any services in our area. So I only pay $141 a month. However, I'm not getting lawn care. I have to subcontract that out on my home. But in Edgewater, you're getting all those services. And that's really all that means, is like, this is the master fee. That includes the town pools and all the master landscaping and all the upkeep that goes to making our town look beautiful. Every neighborhood, you're getting that internet charge. So these three things, master, internet, and environmental, these are going to be your charges in every single neighborhood. And that's part of your master fee, no matter where you are. Right. But then you've got places like Edgewater and Lake Babcock Central and Parkside that also have a service area fee, Trails Edge. And this is really, that's for your lawn care inside those neighborhoods on your home site. So, and then you can kind of see now here, they've got this caveat. Yeah, all of these neighborhoods, National, Edgewater Shores, Crescent Grove, the Preserve, everything in phase 2 is going to have their own sub HOA now. So you are not going to find those fees right here on the master website. However, this is one thing we kind of realized at the team, is that we need to be able to provide all these fees for people who are thinking about buying. Because if you're going to Palmetto Landing or Willow Green or the Sanctuary, or whatever, neighborhood it might be, how do you know what your total HOA fee is going to be per month? Now, if you go to those neighborhoods and meet with the builders, yeah, you're certainly going to know that. But there are also neighborhoods where, the neighborhoods are finished. And how would you know? So, like, for example, Crescent Grove, that's a finished neighborhood, but it does have a sub HOA fee in there. How are you going to know what, if you were looking at a resale in there, like, what are you going to pay for that?
A lot of people rely on the HOA document, but that's not always right, because those change from time to time.
Yes, great story. We just did a sale in there, and the fees just recently changed in there, and it kind of caught us off guard when we were doing the transaction. So this is kind of where, if any of you are interested in new construction homes, my team, we have put this website together, and we've got this awesome HOA calculator here, and you can come into any neighborhood, doesn't matter where it is, and sorry. So I am going to ask you to register for this, and I'm just going to do this really quickly here. But as soon as you register, so we've got options here: single family homes or alleyway homes, for example, in Lake Timber, or you could even come down to here. What's an example of a neighborhood that might have villas? So you can pick villa versus single family home. So let's just Trails Edge, for example. So there you go, right there. Your total monthly HOA in Trails Edge is $298. There is no sub HOA. And we even try to break down those fees, because you get some areas like Babcock National where you're going to have 4 different fees in a neighborhood like Babcock National. So that can get a little taxing to try to understand.
Something was just pointed out that the Babcock Ranch Living.com website's up. I don't know if you're sharing.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Yep.
So yeah, here's the new website you want to. The website we are talking about right now, Babcock Ranch New Homes. So just example, if you wanted to go to Webb's, the new golf course, and look at estate homes. So right now, here's the fee, and actually this is off by $5, but you've got a neighborhood fee and amenity fee. So it really differs by what type of unit you're buying in there. And this,
the screen is still not showing the website.
Oh my gosh! Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
I've been doing all that talking. Nobody said anything. Let's start all that over. So coming back.
No, let's go back.
Babcock Ranch New Homes, HOA calculator. And yeah, once you register for this site, you can come into any neighborhood. So let's check out Palmetto Landing. What's the rate there on Twin Villas? So here's your fee for the Twin Villas. Again, this is off by $5. We got to get on our webmasters because we know the Babcock Ranch master fee is now $141 a month. Well, anyways,
I don't know if the share function's actually working, because on the back end it doesn't look like it's sharing on the screen.
It's
The
not.
website is. No, the website. You and I can't see it because we're on the live, but on the back end, it's just popping up with the website on the bottom of the screen.
Have I been doing this whole live with
Apparently.
There we go. I've been sharing this whole live with nothing on the screen. Great. Well, let's recap. So we started at babcockranchliving.com, right? That's our master website. So under resources, assessment fees, that's where you can look over. This is what I was talking about earlier. You can see all the different areas. And again, that master fee controls is part of every neighborhood, right? But it does control some neighborhoods, the entire neighborhood, even with the lawn care. But where we're headed to now in phase 2 and beyond is that you're going to have all these sub HOA neighborhoods. And so these sub HOA neighborhoods all have their own fees. And so this is why we set out to build out this website here that shows you all the models, neighborhoods, and we have this HOA calculator. So when you are coming in here, and again, this website is babcockranchnewhomes.com. When you do come in here and register, you can look at any single neighborhood in Babcock Ranch, pick a home style, and calculate your fee and get a pretty good approximation. Again, guys, these fees do change over time. So just know it's going to be close. But another good thing here is now, moving on from HOA fees, we have CDD fees. This is another big thing that is a big portion of your taxes. So depending on which neighborhood you select, you will see the CDD fees that come. And again, CDD fees are assigned to you based on your lot. So Palmetto Landing has twin villas and 50-foot lots. And that's what is going to be added on to your tax bill at the end of the year. You can also, again, going back to Babcock Ranch Living, the master HOA website, you can also click on the CDD, or it's what it's called here in Babcock Ranch is ISD, for Independent Special District. And that is not sharing again. What happened?
I was just going to say.
I noticed it this time. So
yes, there we go.
So there's your ISD fees. And this does detail every single neighborhood inside of Babcock Ranch. So you can come here to confirm these fees no matter where you are looking. Again, we do also have them. Sorry, I hit stop sharing instead of share this tab.
Also, people ask all the time too, pull that back up. So that debt service, go to the Babcock Ranch Living website, where it breaks down the debt service and the O&M. So the debt service will eventually go away in 30 years, but that O&M will always be there. And that O&M changes because as they bring on more staff to run the operations and management of it, like that's why CDD fee might change from 1 year to the next year, but it doesn't change too much. I think last year, what was it, like $590, I think?
Yes, it did go up. That was the first time since I moved here back in 2019 that the operation and maintenance portion of that fee increased. And yeah, I think it came out to something like $5 a month. It was, it was around $50 to $60. But again, you know, as Babcock grows, and you also have to consider other things like inflation and whatnot. If any of you, if you were not at the annual meeting, that is, if you come back here to resources and click here on annual meeting, these are really good things to go through, and they even have a video. And I would highly encourage anybody who's thinking about moving here to watch the 2025 meeting, because I learned a lot, even for someone who's lived here for so many years. I didn't understand how big our HOA team is here in Babcock Ranch, and also the amount of services that they provide to this town. Personally, and this is my opinion, I do think that we get a really good deal here with our HOA. And I do understand and sympathize about how expensive that the CDD fees are and how that rolls into the taxes. But, you know, there are a lot of services already in town, and more services on the way. And this stuff has to be paid for one way or the other. And the thing with the CDD fee is that it does help lower the prices, because if the developer paid for all these things ahead of time, it would just increase the price he has to charge to the builders for the land, and subsequently what the builders would have to charge us for the homes. So I think it does help give the home buyers a bit of a break over the long haul by having these CDD fees. But you know, all this of course is needed to keep the town the way it is. So definitely check out.
Yeah. I mean, there's a reason why the population has grown quite a bit for many reasons, and I mean, it's a draw to have all that stuff right here, backyard. Eventually coming, now we got the restaurant starting to open, and Ace Hardware, and you know, you got all the parks open with that new wildlife center that they're developing. I think it's like a VR type experience about Florida wildlife, and all that's kind of provided through all the money that we spend throughout our CDD fees, HOA fees, and whatnot as well.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of great services here now, a lot of great services coming, and yeah, all that stuff's got to be paid for somehow. But so anyways, if you are watching live, we are happy to answer your questions. You can go right into the chat link here and drop a comment here. We're happy to answer your questions to the best of our abilities. So that's really the thick of it, right? With HOA and CDD fees, guys, you've got your two good resources. You can start with BabcockRanchLiving.com. If you want to get into those sub neighborhoods, of course, definitely visit the website that my team has built here, BabcockRanchNewHomes.com, and register. And you can go through the HOA calculator and also confirm that CDD fee. And yeah, we got a lot of other good stuff here. We're starting to put
plans.
Well, we've got plans. We've also are starting to add walkthrough videos of every single model inside of Babcock Ranch. So, for example, I know we just added a lot of these homes here in Webb's, but I don't know why I'm getting this pop up again. But you can log back in with the email you originally registered with. So why is that not working now? Well, we'll have to get on that one. But that's embarrassing. Tell Ashley to call Mike. We got to get that fixed here. But yeah, we do have walkthrough videos coming. And you can also find all those walkthrough videos on our YouTube channel as well.
And other videos explaining a lot of other topics. I mean, there's tons of videos and tons of information. It's very helpful when you're coming into town to like take a look at it, to kind of know what you're getting yourself into. We try to provide all of the information before you ever get here, so it helps you kind of get that decision, and so you know you're not making a horrible one.
Absolutely. So we are working on walkthrough videos. If actually you come to the channel here and click on playlists, we did just start doing this, but we have this one playlist for Babcock Ranch model home tours. So we are going to start adding model home tours of every single plan there is here in Babcock Ranch, so you can kind of get a feel of what it looks like. And we also we do go through the model homes, but a lot of these are going to be the finished builder homes, so you can actually see what that final product looks like from the builder. And yes, we do have a lot of other videos that explain stuff. So for example, Greg just did one talking about home values right now here in Babcock Ranch in 2025. The market is changing pretty fast. Another good reason why you want to work with a local expert that is on top of these things. I did a video recently giving you a full overview of the new golf course, what's different. We've got 2 golf courses now, so another good resource for any incoming buyers here. So lastly, I think we got to touch upon taxes a little bit to help people better understand taxes.
I get that question all the time. How much are the taxes? People think that, sometimes it might be a little cheaper being in Florida, but that's just the income tax and the sales tax rate. Property tax is not really the same as those two. And each county has different millage, and each neighborhood has different fees. And some neighborhoods don't have CDD fees. Other neighborhoods in Southwest Florida do. Maybe it's a minimal $500 a year CDD fee because it's a much smaller project. That taxes can be an eye opener.
Yeah, I mean, most new construction master plan communities in Florida, you're going to find the CDD fee or ISD fee. But yes, you are right. There are areas where you are not going to find those. And there's also a lot of new construction areas where you'll find new construction homes too without HOAs, definitely in the adjacent areas around Babcock. A lot of other options in this area. If, I know a lot of people, they want that new construction home, but they don't care to have an HOA or tell people when, what they can and can't do at their home. So
Valencia right down the road, you got River Hall, and it still has some new construction going on, Portico.
Yeah, but those have HOA
fees. Well, they're going to be lower HOA fees, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, lower, but yeah, if you want no HOA fees, there's definitely areas like in Cape Coral and Burnt Store area in Punta Gorda, other areas of Punta Gorda, Port Charlotte, Fort Myers, Lehigh Acres, a lot of other options very close here. But taxes, so what do you tell people when you say, how much am I going to pay in taxes, Greg?
What do I say?
Yeah.
I mean, roughly, I tell them its ballpark is going to be around 1.7% to include the CDD. I mean, that's just a rough number, but it's a good ballpark.
Yeah, that's my magic number for any incoming buyer. Like what is going to be your tax bill? Usually 1.7% covers
the assessed value.
Tax bill of what you pay for the home. Taxes are very complicated because you got to, number one, consider, are you moving here and making this your permanent residence? Because if you are, you're going to get breaks through the Homestead Act. You're also going to get a decrease there will also be a cap on how much your home can be increased in taxes. And that's called our Save Our Homes Act. So there is a cap on that. Whereas if you are a second home time buyer here in Babcock Ranch, and this is actually what happened here after COVID, when the market went bananas, a lot of those second time home buyers, they got reassessed and they got big hits on their home. Now, how the property appraiser assesses homes, they don't really share that formula, but they have their own formula on how they assess homes. And your home is technically supposed to be reassessed on a yearly basis.
I'm going to say every other or every year.
It can be every other year, but I believe it is supposed to be reassessed yearly. So your property tax could go up and down a little bit year to year, depending on the market. And I am hoping for most people, the property taxes are going to be going down a little bit because we are in a market where prices are sliding right now. So that could be a little bit of a relief.
The chatter that you hear about getting rid of them altogether, I mean, who knows if that'll ever happen, but I mean, that's being floated at the state level as well.
Yes, if our governor does get rid of property taxes, who knows what that will do to Florida real estate. It could spark a boom here. And
increase value.
Possibly. Then there could be different caveats for that as well, right? It may be for only people that are homesteading. So one thing, if you are buying a second home, depending on your age and where you are in life, you may want to consider making Florida your permanent residence. You do
take 6 months in one day.
186 days you got to live here. But you do want to compare those numbers of how much would you save on your income by living here, would you be saving money by reducing your taxes through the Homestead Act here? And of course that depends on where you live too, right? It may be better for you to keep your homestead in wherever, Michigan, New York, depending where you live. I know taxes are
everybody has a different situation.
Right. Yeah. And
That's all personal choice.
Taxes differ all around the country. Some people I meet, they come here and they're like, oh, those taxes are cheap. I get people who come from like Nassau County, which is just east of New York City in Long Island. Taxes
I'm
there
from LA, so
are insane.
That's a big drop down.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, if you're coming from places like New York City or New Jersey, North Jersey, you might think the taxes are cheap, but yeah, depending where you're coming from, you also may think, hey, these taxes are like really high. So another good reason to be working with a real estate professional that knows the ins and outs, because you do want to fully understand your month in and month out costs between HOA, taxes, even property insurance. We've got a great vendor here in town, Shane Barnhart, who can whip you up a quote 1, 2, 3, so you have an idea of how much you're going to pay for homeowners insurance. And we can certainly give you, yep, and we can definitely give you estimates as well on utilities, right? All those factors that go into the upkeep and maintenance of a home, right? We've got.
I was just doing that yesterday with somebody. They wanted to know every single, monthly number. Yeah. Not holding me to a penny, but what's the water, what's the electric, what's it like? You got to know the whole picture if you're going to make a $500,000 purchase. I mean, or more or less, but they're out. What's the average median price here, John? Like 473 or something.
Yeah, high fours.
Yeah. So I mean, if you're looking at a $500,000 purchase, I mean, I'd want to know what all the numbers are.
Yeah.
That's where we come in.
100%. Well, nobody's dropping any questions for us on the comments. We're just getting comments. Someone's calling us a nerd. We won't talk to that person ever again, Amanda. Just kidding. And then we have someone calling us
to knock on our door.
Go a few houses down and say, hey, who are you calling nerds right now? And also a great comment from Jason Rodriguez, your other neighborhood. 2 Babcock legends on the same live stream.
Well, I need to look out the window and send a smoke signal to him.
Yeah. Good. I don't know if there's anything else we need to bring up about HOA taxes and stuff. Any other ideas?
Not a difficult topic. I mean, HOAs are what they are, and you get what you get, and they're a certain number. Now there's 23 neighborhoods, not 4. So it can be a little complex. And when you're trying to roll that number into your monthly number, depending on what type of, mortgage you're getting, or if it's cash or whatever you're doing on the purchase end of it, like, you got to add those numbers together to make sure that that monthly nut is where it needs to be for your comfort and security.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, for all of you who are want to get more in depth on costs, HOA, CDD, taxes, at any time, Team John Grudy is here to help you. We've got a good few resources. Number one, you can book a Zoom with us anytime. Just go to talkbabcockranch.com, figure out a time that works for you, and either myself, Greg, or one of our team members will meet you on that video call. We can go over whatever it is you want to talk about. We highly recommend.
Just like this too, same format.
Exactly, open.
You format. And me going over the nuts and bolts.
Ask your questions, and we highly recommend you do that before you come to town. Because I do really feel like there are a lot of things that we are going to share with you that a lot of other people in town are not going to disclose. Mainly builder reps. I think builder reps are going to answer your questions. They're not going to disclose things that may or may not be relevant. Where I think here at my team, our big focus is to help make sure you understand what you're getting into and understand everything that's involved. And we really just want to help you make the right decision every single time. So
I also think it's important, just because, again, with now there being 23 neighborhoods, like, do you really want to waste your time going to every single neighborhood if it's not something you're looking for? Like, what if you don't want golf? What if you don't need the gate and the amenity? What if you just want, lower HOA fees? Like, there's certain, if you're coming to look at homes, I mean, yeah, it's a business trip. So why not have all of that settled up front before you ever get here. So it just streamlines the process for you so you can make a well-informed decision without getting so overwhelmed. I hear it all the time. I don't even remember which house I saw. That was like
Yeah.
7 neighborhoods ago.
So we did just get some questions. We got to answer them now, Greg.
Uh-oh.
So this Ben's like worrying this isn't the right forum, but you're in the right place, Ben. So how does the internet work? The internet is already lined throughout the whole town. It comes with Quantum, or Quantum Fiber is the provider to high-speed internet. That is paid through your master HOA fee. And when you buy your house, your condo, whatever it may be, you're going to have a big box inside either your laundry room or your master closet. And really all you got to do is
Damn QR code.
there's a website, I believe it's now Quantum Fiber /on, something like that.
You don't even need to do that. There's just a QR code right on the router box.
Okay,
You
there's a
just
QR
scan that
code
with
now.
your phone, and then you just answer 3 questions or whatever it is, and you're plugged in 5 seconds.
Yeah, you answer a few questions, you register an account, and then your internet is on. So it's pretty simple. No really rigorous setup. And again, all the houses, every single room, you're going to have an Ethernet port in every major room. You know, your living area, if you have a den, office.
You can hardwire TVs from the room, like from the router, so you're not pulling on so much Wi-Fi. So that if 2 people are at home and they work remotely, and you got kids that are streaming or whatever, like I don't have any interruption on my service really ever since I've been here for 4 years now in either neighborhood. And me and Ashley work from home constantly with multiple streaming devices going off at any given time. So you don't have to worry about accessibility and
Exactly. And also good Wi-Fi all throughout the town as well. They have it at all the parks now, and you go to the downtown area, you can connect to Wi-Fi. So
solar trees that have the internet.
Yeah. J Ma, do all neighborhoods have sub HOA? So we did cover that at the beginning of the video, and I was messing all that up, Jay. But
not all,
your original OG neighborhoods, I like to call them, in Babcock Ranch, have the master HOA, and that's it. So there's about Lake Timber, Lake Babcock, Parkside, Trails Edge, Edgewater. I believe it's 5, right?
Lake Babcock, Lake Timber, Lake Babcock Estates, if you want to count that different. Parkside, Trails Edge, Edgewater, and that's it.
Yeah, so those neighborhoods are fully managed by the master HOA, and then every other neighborhood moving forward is going to have a sub HOA neighborhood, because it basically, another story of Babcock Ranch is the original vision was this place to be open, no gates, and kind of after they started building out Babcock Ranch, they realized that consumers do really want gated neighborhoods with private amenities. So now you're seeing in phase 2 of Babcock Ranch, every single neighborhood is gated, minimum guard gate, minimum automated security gate with at least a neighborhood pool, and then the amenities go up from there depending on the neighborhood. So
it's just kind of the purpose of the Discovery Center at the same time. I mean, I know people get registered and they have surveys and questions, and I'm sure I remember at one point in time they said there was not going to be a 55 plus neighborhood, but maybe there was enough people that were interested in having one here, and so there's one.
Yeah, so things always can and do and will change in Babcock Ranch. That's the one constant. Things are always changing here.
Always.
So next question, Inessa, what is the policy on pets? I have 5.
Are they all 5 of the same thing? Because I ran it.
5 small spaniels.
So there's a limit of 3 pets of each. So you can have 3 birds, you can have 3 rabbits, you can have 3 dogs, you can have 3 cats, you can even have 3 alligators, but you can't have more than 3 of any pet in the house at one point in time. Kind of weird.
Yeah. I can tell you, and I'm not telling you that you should do this, but I can tell you a lot of people violate that rule. I know people that have 7 cats in their house and 5 dogs and stuff. So Babcock is a very pet-friendly place. I feel like probably 80% of the homeowners here have at least a pet. I just got 2 dogs myself. Greg has a dog. So, it's, again, we're not telling you to break the rules here. We're just telling you our observations of living here in town.
And then that would be on you.
Yeah, so that would be on you in case the HOA does come knocking on your door. And there are some neighborhoods, technically in the golf neighborhoods, like Babcock National and Webb's, it's actually a 2-pet limit and a 50-pound limit. But then the rest of Babcock Ranch, there's no breed restrictions, weight limits, just that technically that 3-pet limit per household.
Which is funny, you could only have 3 fish, so don't get a fish tank.
Fish tanks don't count. All right. We got my buddy Paul from the Bronx. He's coming down here soon to visit with me. But Paul, who is the cable TV provider? We do not have cable TV here. Since we have high-speed gigabit internet, basically everybody uses a streaming service, whether it's YouTube TV, Hulu TV, whatever it may be.
I got a provider. Yeah. It's all streamed nowadays.
Everybody streams here. The one thing you can do, which I did, is I put a little antenna dish up in my house, and I ran that through the coax cable to all my TVs. So I do get all the basic cable channels from that antenna dish. So that's something you can consider. But I know like YouTube TV covers all the local cable channels, and so you just got to decide which streaming service is going to be best for you. All right. We also got Mr. J. Ma back. Is Tucker's Cove considered phase 2? Yes, it is. And yes, what's that HOA fee cost? Greg can answer this because he lives in Tucker's Cove now.
Yeah. So basically what you're looking at as a current to date right now, depending on the house, there's townhomes, there's villas, there's estate homes, there's manor homes, or executive homes and manor homes. So they all kind of vary. I would say that if you're looking strictly at a single family home between the 2 different variations, you're going to be between about $330 to $340 something per month right now. Once the amenities are completed, it'll go up just about $200, $195. So roughly what I'm going to be paying in a couple years from now, once the amenities are complete, will probably be around $550. Give or take, depending on what home site you have. It could be a little bit less with the villas. It'll be a little bit more with the townhomes, but like with the townhomes, you have building maintenance covered and some other things as well, like the reserves for roof and paint. So there's other fees that go into there. But again, today, those total numbers of 500 and change up to 600 for the townhouses are going to be $200 less until the amenities come in. And from my understanding, they are planning to have 80% complete by the end of next year. The only things that won't be here would be like the restaurant and arcade, or maybe not the arcade will be here, but like the restaurant and the cantina and the ice cream shop. That's kind of dependent upon population, so to speak. So they don't want to open it too soon and not have enough residents living here to utilize that and it to go out of business. So the fees will go up prior to those amenities coming in. So at 80% complete next year is when that would go up.
Yeah, and do consider that. Yeah, and that the fee he's giving you right now, Jay's asking about, does that include the master HOA? So yeah, that's right. Today
I only talk in ball figures.
Yeah, about $350. But yeah, down the road, it's going to be somewhere around $550 all in with that master HOA. And then expect that the HOA fees in that neighborhood can go up over time, right?
It can go up. Yeah.
You got to consider everything that's covering, like, especially with all those amenities, there's going to be a lot of maintenance needs on those amenities. But
that's also why I kind of think they're doing the neighborhood with 2,200 front doors. So there's more pool of money coming in instead of just 500 homes for something like that also. So it's not like major increases I foresee in the future, but I'm aware that there are potential increases 5 years from now, 7 years from now, even.
Yeah, well, I think you just need to have that frame of mind that like there probably are going to be increases at some point in time. Hopefully they are minimized and they are smaller. But I also think that you are getting an insane amount of amenities in that neighborhood.
Value.
Right.
Yeah. And the same goes for golf courses. Same goes for Terra Walk. I mean, there's chances that things can get reassessed when you have like restaurants and things like that in your neighborhood. When you have something more along the lines of just like an electronic automated gate and pool and barbecue pits, I can't foresee any huge increases coming there. But once you throw in fitness centers and gyms and all that stuff, like it could happen.
Yeah, and I was just gonna say too, think about everything you're getting, right? Like if you joined a gym for your whole family, like that's probably $200 a month, and high-speed
Mhm.
internet's over $100 a month. Landscaping, I mean, I pay a subcontractor $300 a month to do my landscaping at my house. So I think you got to
Uh,
also consider, like, if you were doing those things yourself or paying someone, how much would those things cost outside of the HOA? And I think you realize it is a pretty damn good value at that
And I
price.
was living in Lake Babcock with $300 a month HOA fees before I moved here with the gym membership for me and Ashley, which was like $150 a month. So I'm already paying 450. Once that gym's open here, I'm not going to need that membership anymore. And now I'm really only off by $100 extra a month to have a lazy river.
Yeah, yeah, the increase in value I think is worth it.
I also think the property values are going to increase in value down the road in the future in the neighborhoods that have golf and terra walk, and that you're going to have amenity rich neighborhoods.
Yeah, there definitely seems to be like a really good, a really big, at least a lot of desire to have all those amenities. And I think that is going to attract more buyers to those amenities, especially when they open.
Mhm.
Well, I think that's it, Greg. You know, we got to get going to our next event
Yep.
anyway, but we hope
Right.
this video was helpful. So again, for all of you out there, thank you for joining us. And again, we've got a lot of good resources for you. We did show you our website, Babcock Ranch New Homes, which we need to update. Obviously, I messed up on so we're going to update that website for you. But if you want to check out all those models and HOA and CDD fees, go there. Before you come to town, not tour Babcock Ranch,
Russ.
sorry. Talk Babcock Ranch if you want to have a video call with me or anyone from my team, Greg, myself, my whole team, to go over anything you want to talk. That's
We're all
available.
well versed in everything Babcock, so
Yeah.
there's
And
many
if
of us
you,
that can help.
yeah, the whole team lives here in town, so we're all experts. And if you know Babcock's the place and you're like, I need to go start seeing houses, you can go right to tourbabcockranch.com and pick a date and time to schedule a tour with the team, and
One
we
of
will
us will
meet
show
you.
up.
One of us will meet you. We'll show you around, and we're going to help you, give you that tailored approach, and you know, get very efficient on our search, show you the things that are going to fit your lifestyle needs, your budget, all that stuff, not waste your time, make that efficient. And yeah, any other things, Greg? I mean, yeah, you could also shoot us an email, info@swfloridarealestate.com. I think that's
But
it.
there's a lot of, you can send a carrier pigeon. I'm sure we'll find it somewhere.
Yeah, listen, we'll leave with our friend, your neighbor, Jason Rodriguez. Now's the time to get into Babcock. Lakewood Ranch is a good example of
Mhm.
how crazy property values increased there over the last
And
20
they have
years.
CDDs and they have HOAs and they have a lot more traffic. I mean, I know everyone gets upset about 31 and I get it. I mean, it's rough and they're expanding it and it's going to be better. But you ever been to Lakewood Ranch and driven around there?
Yeah. Well, hey, we got a lot of stuff coming here, and you know we have to deal with the construction to have all those amazing things. But I think it's worth it. What about you?
I do. I mean, I've lived in multiple places in Florida and I don't know if I'd move. I mean, if I left Florida, that's one thing, but I don't know. I mean, I've been on the East Coast, Central Florida. I just like it here, but that's kind of my speed. I come from a big city in LA where I don't like traffic. Like I know what traffic is.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm good at being in rural Florida.
Traffic isn't really traffic here.
Yes.
At
It's
least to us city.
inconvenience.
Well, we're city boys, so it's a different
Right.
for us, Greg. You're LA, I'm New York City.
Took
So
me an hour to get to work in downtown LA, and I only live 4 miles away.
that was me, dude. I lived 8 miles from my work in New York City, and it routinely took me 45 minutes minimum, up to an hour and a half, depending on the day.
Yeah, and gas was $5. So
Yeah. All right. Well,
I'm good in that doc. I'm good here.
yeah. Come join us in Babcock. Thank you for joining us. And if you have any more questions, you can drop them here in the comments section, and we will definitely get back to you. But otherwise, we hope to see you in town here and call you our neighbor one day.
Kind of like Jason Rodriguez.
Yes. All right, everybody, have
All right.
a good day.